Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the invoke function. Invoke is a way of having actions happen after a particular or a specific delay, very much like we had with timers in GameMaker or in Pico 8 where we built our own timer library. What we're going to do here is, well, I've got a little scene I'm just going to experiment with. It just has a plane and a cube, and I've made a script called cube, and I've put it on the cube here. So if I select my cube, over here on the right, you will see there's my cube script, right? So this script right, or this script right here is a component on this cube. And let me open it up in Visual Studio. And this is what you get by default when you create a C# script. Let me make a new function in here. And I'll just call it like log message or something. Log message. So all this thing is going to do is log a message to the console. Debug.log. This is a message. There we go. And I was just thinking, we could do something like this. We could have a bird and it chirps randomly. That'd be a good idea. Yeah. And we could randomize the amount of time between chirps or something like that. That would be neat. All right. But anyway, here's my function. All it does is log a message to the console. The fact that I've written the function does not mean the function will ever run. I have to run that function, I have to specifically call it from somewhere. So if I call this thing from start, when this object starts up, it will call the log message function. It will jump down here and print this out to the console. So let's just run that and see that it works. Let me click on my console here and run this. There you go. So you can see it printed out. This is a message down here on the console. But what if we wanted this to happen after a short delay? Well, instead of in the start function calling log message directly, we can invoke log message. And here's how invoke works. You say invoke. Invoke then you can see the IntelliSense here. The name of the method followed by the delay in seconds. So the name of the method, and it has to go in quotation marks, is log message without the curly braces. So one of the problems with invoke is that it can't take parameters. It has to be a parameterless function. It will call the function named invoke in, let's say, 3.0 seconds. And because this is a number with a decimal point, I have to put an F after it because invoke wanted a floating point number. And to specify that it's a floating point number instead of a double, we have to put an F on it. Okay, so now let's run this and watch what happens. Oh, I should have cleared the console first. Let me clear the console. And, okay, can you see, you saw that? So there was a 3-second delay between when I started the game and when the function actually ran. And just to drive that home, what I'll do is I'll log a message. Oh, yeah, no. Debug.log. I'm going to print out a message called, I'll say starting up. And then I'll invoke log message, and then 3 seconds later, log message will get called. So invoke will call this function after that delay. Let's run it and see that it works. Clear. So you can see that it started up, and then there was a 3-second delay before it printed it out. This is a message. So there's invoke calling up or queuing up that function to be called. Now, what if we wanted something like that just kept invoking every couple of seconds, maybe to check for something or take away from the player's health a little bit every second or something like that? How could we? Let me change. I'm going to change invoke to. I'm going to change the name of my function to be called tick here, just cause. And instead of printing out this as a message, I'm just going to print out the word tick. Now, what if we wanted this thing to keep running? So when the script starts up, we call invoke, and then it's after 3 seconds it'll jump down here. This function runs and then it's done. How do we keep invoking this thing? Well, down here in the tick function, we can use invoke again. We'll say print this out and then queue up the tick function to run again using invoke. So we can invoke a function, and that function that gets called can call invoke again. It can invoke itself, and it'll just keep running. And then maybe down here, let's change it to be every 1 second. So now let's run this and see what happens. And let me clear the console. Tick, tick, tick. You can see it's ticking once a second. Let me stop it, clear it, and run it again. Starting up, so there should be a 3-second delay. Now it starts ticking. So there's the invoke function. Invoke can be used to call a function after a delay, and it can be used to make those alarm loops that that we had in GameMaker. We could, instead of checking for something every frame, like maybe we do in the update function, now we can do something every second or every 5 seconds or every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds, check to see if we need to spawn a new power-up or something like that. Okay, so that's the simple version of Invoke, and I'm going to make another video that'll show you another trick you can do with Invoke that is very powerful. But I think you got it. It's not too complicated. It is just invoke, name of the function, and then the delay.